This is First Gen Xers.
It's insane.
Hey y'all, what's
It's
up? What's up? Hey, it's me, the one and only Dark Lord 100, and the one and only O'Malley. We're here to bring you First Gen Xers presents the classroom. So we're gonna start off hot. We were just talking off air about the biggest contract to ever be given to a human being in the life of this world, in Juan Soto signing a 15 year, $765 million. You know what scares me about it? It means that we're not that far away from the first player signing the first $1 billion contract.
I think I think he's making more than the entirety of the WNBA all combined.
Everybody and their endorsements, and their
And the coaches and the front office and like all of them. And the workers in the arenas. The like
it's not it's we're laughing, but really though, like this is what one baseball team. I was just gonna say this.
one single player.
Out of nine on the team, one. You know, everybody looking at that guy like he's paying for dinner. Like every night when the team goes out for dinner, it's on Soto. Like he
Right.
got us
Right.
like like average annual value on a contract like that is in like I've got to say like at least 50 to 70 million a year, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like gotta be kidding me. Like I just said, I don't think we're that far away from the first $1 billion player signing a $1 billion contract. But I think when we get to the $1 billion level, they're going to be signing lifetime contracts, and it's going to be some eighth
Also,
grader.
they're all their offspring
Yeah,
and their
exactly.
offspring's offspring in
Exactly.
perpetuity. Like,
We have them by right. Like, because hey, you know what though? They could do that. The Mets could do that shit with Bobby Bonilla because they still paying his ass $1 million a year. So, but nah, like seriously though, and like you said, like you were just describing it, it's like 75 million up front, another 40 something million. So within the next 12 months, you're already being paid
yeah,
like a
in
seventh of that
under
project.
in under a year,
Y-
you're already getting $100 million.
yes. And that's before you suit up for that. That's even before you
Right.
suit up for
Right.
spring training next year.
Right. Right.
Like, wow. Wow. And
And
so
you didn't even win the World Series.
and here's what gets me is I
Yeah,
understand.
like
I've always said this. Players deserve their share. We've said that a billion times on this show. But baseball is taking this shit way out of hand. Like first and foremost, not to mention let's the average baseball career is less than 10 years. Remember that, folks. And they just signed him for 15. So they just signed him for a career and a half for $700 million. So what I assume is should this retire and come back, he's still gonna be on the same contract. Like the contract just gonna pause for him to go take a break for a little bit, and then he's gonna come
right.
back and play the rest of it.
He's
Because like
he's just
wow,
gonna go from being a player to a coach or a scout or a front office person or
yep.
we own you in some capacity, some way, shape, or form for 15 years.
And by the way,
Period.
when you're done with that, you own a part of the team, so you still got to come down to the home office because we got a job for you. Like, man, it's all good. But congratulations to Juan Soto. Like, congratulations to all these players. You guys are getting. It's hard for me to say with that contract what you're worth because it's hard for me to believe that a single human being playing the game of baseball is worth
Yeah.
$765 million. But
And I mean, one could argue that even if they were, that there might be a player or two ahead of Juan Soto in
yeah,
that argument. Like, so that's
right.
the other part. But
I'm like, it's like I said, it's you
I
you
mean,
it,
shit, Otani is looking like a bargain now.
here's the thing about it. In basketball, in baseball, in football, you don't dictate. You do dictate what you're worth by your play, but on the contract sheet, you legitly don't dictate what you're worth. What teams are willing to pay you is what dictates what you're worth. And this is just another example of that. A team was willing to put 15 years and $765 on a
Because
contract and hand it to him, or 765
there,
million.
because there was a team that felt that they were him away from that he is the piece that's going
Sorry.
to bring them to that next level. And therein lies what we were talking about off
Yeah.
camera, I think. But like, how do you play after that? Like,
Yeah.
seriously,
Where's
how do you play? Because the immense amount of pressure that you just put on yourself with that contract is, to me, not worth the money. I
that's
don't think anyone is ever going to live up to that money.
that
If
is
they do
it.
not go to the World Series this year, there are going to be some very pissed off fans.
One, not just fans, but like owners,
Yeah.
investors. Like it's honestly like I say this. I
That's a
get.
Jerry Jones irresponsible financial decision type shit right there.
I don't know. Here's the thing about it. Outside of the Dodgers, show me a team that has shelled out that much money for one player and won a World Series. Like even the Yankees haven't won a World Series recently, like in the last decade or so. Like so outside of the Dodgers, I don't think there's any team that has invested high dollar amounts like that into a player and won a World Series. Like within a couple of years.
Often they end up doing worse than they did before they acquired that player, because
Yep.
that can have a detriment to a lot of teams. Um, for the Dodgers, it worked because Otani is one of those kind of players that actually makes the players around him
Better.
better players.
Yeah.
And makes the team more competitive. I mean, all you have to do is look at those guys when they're playing baseball, and they look like a bunch of kids out there playing
Having fun.
baseball.
Yeah.
And that's who wins. The Because it's being done with a passion. And
Hmm.
anyways, but no, generally speaking, the team actually does worse. Big names tend to not mesh well with veteran team members,
Yeah.
those who've been on the team for, a little bit. Sometimes toes get stepped on, and
The cocky outsider comes in. Y'all needed
yeah,
me, man. Like what the fuck? Yeah.
exactly. It really all depends on what the environment looks like before, and the player. But no, we like not paying that kind of absurd amount of money. It just doesn't make any sense.
Now let me say, as an Oakland A's fan, Billy Bean, yes, I've screamed for years for you to spend money, but not like that. Not ever like that. All right, so we'll jump in next. That was our hot take to start the show there. I want to say, so we got the NBA Cup bracket, which turned out to be a decent bracket this year. But neither team that made it to the championship last year actually made it back this year. So this year we get Oklahoma City and Milwaukee, the two number one seeds from each bracket. Uh, Giannis versus Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. There's no Chet Holmgren, his name is. He's still out for OKC. So should make for an interesting game. OKC looks like they're the underdog. That's what it means when it's the negative 4.5, right? They're the underdog.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
they're a 4.5 point underdog. Um, they beat the Rockets, who beat the Warriors to get
Okay, the Rockets didn't beat the
there.
Warriors.
Let's get
Can
into
we
it.
just clarify that they did
Uh,
not beat
the Warriors
the
beat
Warriors?
themselves. Yeah,
The Warriors beat themselves in, well, some very questionable
yeah,
reffing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. 100%.
beyond questionable.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
I
So,
say it like this, and if I get mad every time that the refs fuck over my favorite team,
mhm,
I'm gonna be mad all the time. So sometimes I just kind of throw my hands up in the air and go, it just is what it is. Like, and that's how I walked away from that game. I was like, just, and then
yeah,
every time I saw a post about the game afterwards, I was like, nah, nah, no, no, no.
yeah.
Like, that was what got me, was that was a game that should have been the Warriors, could have been the Warriors, and was handed to the Rockets on a silver platter. I'm not saying the refs cheated. I'm just saying refereeing should never have that big of an effect on a game ever.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So
Why do we need, with the way that, like, every angle and all the cameras, why do we need live referees? Why can't they just call this shit from the booth?
I think, okay, I'll say this. I think you need live referees there to make an initial call, but without slowing down the game. And they can do this because they do it all the damn time in NBA games now. They have a bunch of dudes sitting in a room in New York that are literally
Hmm.
watching every game. And
Hmm.
all they got to do is go, y'all got that one wrong. Reverse it. It goes
Right.
directly into the head ref's ear. Hold on. And then y'all got this player, da da da. He was fouled. Da da da. Run it back. All right, cool. He comes out, he makes the announcement he just heard from New York. They do it all the damn time when they mess up on calls. Sometimes they just hear, oh, yeah, they hear from New York. Okay, New York flipped that one over.
Well,
Why can't
and
that just
it's
be a consistent thing?
and even in football, I don't like the it's not a reviewable
Play, yeah.
thing, or it's not a challengeable. No, I'm sorry if it was a missed call or a bad call, period. Regardless of what it was, it should be able to be challenged or reviewed.
Only thing I will disagree with you on that is with holding. Only reason I say that is because holding literally happens damn near across the entire offensive line, just
Yeah.
about every play. So you would be slowing down the game significantly if they consistently kept reviewing that. But every other play, yes, pass interference, defenseless receiver, all of that shit should be reviewable. Did he
Mhm.
make the catch? Did he not make the catch? All that shit should be reviewable. All that shit should be challengeable. We have video now, so literally the coach should be able to challenge anything and have them look at a video review of it. I
And,
still say,
and can can we at some point, like, maybe get on the same page as what a catch actually is? What a football move is considered? Do I need to, like, shake my butt and wiggle my nose and, you know,
uh,
jump
I
from one side to another for it to be considered a catch? Like, some of this shit is getting absolutely batshit
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like, do the two step and,
yeah.
put one leg in and one leg out and shake it all about, and, like, freaking out there doing the hokey pokey. Just, like,
uh,
I miss the days when, like, there was no question what a fucking catch was.
yeah. Uh, 2 feet in, control of the ball. That's all you need. Or 2 feet down and control of the ball. That should be all you need. All right. So let's also close out this segment before we go to commercial block. Give me your thoughts on the Dennis Schroeder trade. They moved DeAndre Melton, who's out for the rest of the season, or DeAnthony Melton, who was great, but he's out for the rest of the season. And they brought in Dennis Schroeder from the Nets, basically swapping second round picks. Um, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, it can't do any harm. I don't think. I mean, it, I don't really feel one way or another. I mean, we have a hole. We need to fill a hole. So, I mean,
Well, I feel like this about it. They basically just swapped the same player. You know, Dennis Schroeder is a little bit older than DeAnthony Melton, which is why I think they chose to go after Melton in free agency as opposed to trading for Schroeder. Again, they're both the same. They're both basically the same player, except DeAnthony Melton is a few years younger. Like I want to say 5 years younger. I think Melton's 26. Schroeder is 31. So he's five. So the Nets essentially end up a wash, technically in a little bit better of a spot because they get a younger version of an aging vet on their squad. You know, and Melton, when he heals, hopefully they can re-sign him because he's just on a year contract. They can re-sign him to something more long-term. And then the Warriors get a guy that can help them win now. That's basically the same thing that Melton was. The dude averages like 18, like 4 rebounds, and like 5 assists a game. So he can be exactly what Melton was to the offense. I think he can get us back on track because the team has definitely been, not necessarily in a free fall, but they've definitely been inconsistent since Melton went out. So it gives them somebody that they can put. So it allows Lindsey Waters and Brandon Podminsky to go back to their normal spots in the rotation instead of starting. You know what I'm saying? And now Jonathan Kuminga has earned his way into the starting lineup. I wonder, and this allows them to keep Draymond on the bench like they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, once they get, I guess the whole experiment with starting Jackson Davis is over with. I liked him in the starting lineup, but it is what it is. But I think the Warriors made, and there's talk that they could be making another move. I'm tired of all these Brownites. Let it go,
God.
man.
I don't know.
They're not trading him to the Warriors. Let it
No,
go. He won't be coming to the Warriors. No.
Yeah. Don't even speak that out into the universe.
Like, I'm good. Anyway, all right, we'll go on commercial break on that sad note, and we'll be back afterwards to talk a little NFL.
Real Lakers players Lakers fans don't even want him. Like, they want him gone. Like,
I don't blame them. I don't want him on the Warriors.
I don't either.
Keep Bronny and Bron. Keep them both.
Yeah.
Don't need them.
Yep.
Let them live out their legacy. All right, that's it for us for right now. We'll be back in about 5. See y'all in a minute. Peace.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I've been real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
We back at it. Yep, we still doing it. Poetic beats. First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the first GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone, I'm clowning. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's You are now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the first Gen Xers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hello, y'all out there in Radio Land and in Video Land. What's up? It's me, Double K Double, and I'm here to run down for you what the new, as of November 1st, or as of today, lineup is on Live 365. That's right, your place to find all your favorite old and classic 4 Aces Present shows starring myself, The Saint, uh, Mr. Deacon, Ms. Optimism, E Reed, and also your boy Cole with the FU Wrestling Podcast, and also a World of Wrestling podcast. We'll see. Let's go down the roster of the Monday through Friday. At 12:30 a.m., you will open your day hearing an episode of Now versus Then, followed up at 3:45 a.m. by an FU Wrestling Podcast Classic episode. We finish out our mornings at 6:20 a.m. with a double case classroom, 30 minutes. You get a new episode daily. Then we follow that up with a classic episode of K Double's fifth period music class, the show you love me on. I know y'all be watching, listening, and all that. Let's see, and then now we follow that up at the middle of the day on the East Coast and the late morning on the West Coast with 3 hours of Now versus Then Deuce, including a new episode every Wednesday of the new episodes of Now versus Then airing on Twitch right here. If you're watching this on video. Then we follow that up with an episode of KD5P with a new episode every Tuesday at 12:45 p.m. of KW's fifth period music class from Live 365. And then we get 3:20, we get the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast revisited with a new episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast on Thursdays at 3:20. Let's see, and then we get Now versus Then revisited at 5:30. All of these shows from this point forward, with an exception for the next one, or actually, no, Just that show is a replay of the Now versus Them from that morning in case you missed it. Then we get West Coast Bias, a classic episode at 9:05 every night with a new episode of The Classroom every Friday from with me and O'Malley on Sundays. And then we close out every night with a 40-minute edition of Lip Gloss and Mics. That's all right here on the First Gen Xers Radio Network, the radio network that brings you the classic episodes from 4 Aces Presents network, radio network on Blog Talk Radio and on Spreaker. You can still catch us over on Spreaker with the podcast. And lastly, I am Double K Double. Check out my website, 2kk2network.com to find everything about my network. And I'll see you guys there. Peace. All right, what's up, y'all? And I'm back. All right, so here we go. Last time I hipped you to what was going on Saturdays and Sundays right here on Live 365, and now I'm going to hip you what's going on Monday through Friday. So now I'm going to hip you what's going on Saturday and Sunday. We open up each Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 a.m. with a classic episode of Mr. Deacon's Experience, followed by at 2:40 a.m. An classic episode of Ms. Optimism Speaks. We follow that up with a classic episode. Now, mind you, this is both on Saturday and Sunday. The days don't break apart till a little bit later. But you at 5:15 a.m. you get a classic episode of Brick in a House. Then you can follow that up with an episode of Reality Radio. Then at 10 a.m. as usual, she will stay in the same spot. We got Sam Brett with a classic episode of Sam Brett Radio Roulette or some other Sam Brett related show. We'll follow that up at 12:10 with Mr. Deacon Revisited again. Probably play the same episode from earlier in the evening. Then you're going to hear Lovely Radio at 2:45. And then that's where things kind of change up. On Saturdays, after Lovely Radio goes off the air at 4:50, at 5 o'clock, you have KD5P, K Double's fifth period music class, where I bring you music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the double aughts, whatever type of music you like to listen to, especially if you're Gen X. Then we close the night with a 2-hour, 45-minute episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast from back in the day with myself and Alpha, and that will close out our evening. On Sundays, after you hear Lovely Radio, at 4:10, you'll hear an episode of The Classroom from Spreaker, the 45-minute episode version of that show. You'll hear 5:30, the episode of Dirty Talk 101. Yeah, sorry. And then at 7:40, you get an episode of Cheap Pop Podcast Revisited. And then we close the night out with an episode of The Sidebar at 10:10. So that'll do it for Live 365 and everything that we have going on there. I hope you guys have truly enjoyed this, and we'll keep bringing it to you. Live 365, First Gen Xers Radio Network, 4 Aces Presents, whatever you want to call us. We're here, we're live, and we're not going away. Peace. That was you hearing from me. And now I'm back. No. So, y'all, we are here. We're going to open up today's talk with one specific subject, and that is the Thursday night game, which was, to me, was a hell of a game despite the Niners' loss. Both defenses played their asses off to the tune of the final score being 12-6 with no touchdowns being scored by either offense. That was, whew. And for the first time in a while, the Rams sweep the Niners. That's how you know this is just one of them damn seasons. The Rams sweep the Niners in the regular season series. But the biggest story that came out of that game was Devondre Campbell, linebacker, former All-Pro linebacker, used to play for the Green Bay Packers. Signed with the 49ers in the offseason, had started had started every game this leading up to this point, and was told that now that Dre Greenlaw, the guy they signed him to basically take the spot up while he was out, was back, that he would be taking a seat and would be relegated to bench duty. I guess evidently this didn't sit well with Devondre. And instead of telling coach at the beginning of before the game, I don't want to suit up, I don't want to be a bench player, so on and so forth, and doing it like that, he decides to come out, get dressed, act like he gonna play, and then when called upon to go in, that he does not want to play. The only stories that I've heard about this come from quotes from NBC Bay Area, so on and so forth. People saying that, yeah, like the defensive Shanahan called for Campbell to go in for Greenlaw to spell Greenlaw, and heard back from the defensive staff that Campbell was refusing to go in. And then Campbell left the field in the third quarter. There was some mixed reaction. I saw a lot of comments on Facebook from people like, well, we don't know what his mental health is like right now. Like, something had to be going on like this for him to act like that.
He's a spoiled brat.
Thank you. But for the most part, most people held the same sentiment as OMalley, myself, George Kittle, Tre'Davious Ward, who both said they really don't want him back on the team. Yeah.
People do recognize that, like, mental health isn't an excuse for shitty behavior, and that there are also there are plenty of people out there who are high functioning with mental health issues who don't behave like shitty human beings. Stop like
using mental health as an excuse.
Yes,
yeah,
because that's what perpetuates the stigma, right? So stop it with that, because that is more like spoiled brat prima donna type behavior. Like, if I can't be the starter, if I can't be the star, then I don't want to play at all.
And it's basically the equivalent of taking your ball and going home.
Yeah.
Like as a kid. And here's the thing about it. I don't always agree with Stephen A. But his rant on this one, I'm completely down. Like, if I was the GM of that team, if I was John Lynch, dude wouldn't have made it back to the locker room. I'd have told him to take off his jersey in the hallway, go change into your street clothes and get the hell out the stadium. Like, we done. Don't bother coming back. We'll work out the contract details and you know what we need to do there, but don't come back to the stadium at all. Go get your shit now. Like, and that would have been the end of it because
security.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's not just that he it's just like, dude, if you felt that we told you days ago that Greenlaw was coming back and he was going to start, you could have told us then that you didn't want to continue on with us as a bench player for the rest of the season. And we could have worked something out, and you could have not dressed. We could have elevated a kid from the practice squad that actually wanted to be there and play and would have subbed in when asked to sub in, so on and so forth. So we would have left you out of the game plan. You know, but instead you say, yeah, you go to all the practices, you do all the shit, and you come to the game and all of a sudden decide you don't want to do your job. And let's be real about it. That's exactly what you're saying. Is you don't want to do your job, because I can guarantee you that the direct deposit went through for his paycheck that week from the San Francisco 49ers. So he was already paid to do a job, and he was refusing to do it. This is a job, folks. The team pays him. Now, that's going beyond the moral standards of abandoning your teammates on the field of battle. Like I won't even get into all of that, because I don't play sports, so I can't speak to it. I don't play professional sports, so I can't speak to it directly. But I know if I played sports and one of my teammates walked out mid-game, like, it might be like, don't even come give me dap. Don't even come trying to shake my hand, bro. Like, I'm good. We good.
Like, and do you actually think that it's going to be easy for you to get another job now?
Even if the Niners
you just threw a temper tantrum for all of the NFL in the world to see.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I mean, clearly did not learn from Antonio Brown.
I do. I say that, I sneeze, and I do that funny, because I haven't seen an NFL player destroy their career in a similar way. And yes, I don't use the word destroy lightly. Like I don't know of a locker room, unless they are desperate for a starting linebacker, maybe a Dallas Cowboys or something like that. desperate for a starting linebacker, wanting to sign him and bring him in. Or Green Bay may say, you know what, hey, we know you're not really like that, so come on back to us. But if it ain't Green Bay, I don't know who would want to deal with that. Because the Niners didn't do anything wrong. He was signed under the premise that he was only supposed to be starting until Greenlaw came back. He was aware of that. That's why he's only being signed. That's why he was only signed to a 1-year deal.
Hold on. Here's the other thing, is that when you are signed, the team that you are signed to can put you in whatever the fuck position that they want to.
You don't have to like it.
Like,
don't have to like it.
This is their team, not your team.
Right.
You are an employee.
And you know,
at the end of the day,
sometimes we have to take positions. My mom used to say this to me. My dad used to say this to me. Sometimes when I was job hunting, 16, 17, 18, you know, sometimes you got to take the job you don't want in order to get to the job you want.
Yep.
Iguodala realized that.
Yep.
Came to the Warriors, sat his ass on the bench, won a Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, don't let your ego stop you from doing something. Because think about it. You, Warner, and you can play both positions. So you, Warner, and Greenlaw can make a trio of linebackers that could terrorize the NFL if you chose to be humble.
Yeah, and do you know how many people would damn near kill for just the opportunity to go out there and do that? And
Yep.
Here you are, basically a big middle finger to, okay, if you don't care about the fans or the team, like, the other people who could have had that opportunity, if that's how you were gonna. Because I mean,
There are people out there that would have went and played in that game, or would have went and played for that team all season, no matter what position they put them in, for $500, and you out here making millions and crying about it.
yeah, that part.
So,
That at some point, if you're making money, you're making money. Period. Like,
Amen.
I mean, guess what? Okay, and I'm a little less time that I might get hurt. I'll take the break, right? Like, I'll show that I can play well with others.
I've never understood the idea of throwing a temper tantrum when you're not put in the bright light. I've never understood that because it never gets you.
Especially when you're not like one of the star players. I don't even get it from them, but like, you're a supporting cast member, dude. Like, it's not even.
You're
like,
not Fred Warner. Yeah,
no,
and they were actually saying that even amongst Shanahan, within the confines of the thing, as much as Fred Warner is considered one of the top linebackers in the NFL, that Dre Greenlaw in that particular system is actually considered better than Fred Warner. So, like, bro, there was no way you were holding on to that starting spot. Like, let it go. Like, be a backup. And here's the thing about it. There's more professional ways you could have handled it. Stay there. Be a backup. There's, 5 games left in the season. Play out the rest of the season, and then just don't resign.
Go out there and play like you want to have a position.
Yep. Don't be a diva.
Because you're also playing for your job at this point. And not with the Niners so much as the entire rest of the league.
Yep.
And well, you didn't do yourself a whole lot of favors there, dude.
Like I said to you a little bit off camera ago, like it feels to me like a Mike Singletary moment with Vernon Davis, you know, or earlier. I'm like, you know, can't win with him, can't play with him, don't need him on my team. Like I said, he would have been cut before he got back to the locker room. His red tag would have been hanging for him in his locker when he walked in there. But that's just me. But needless to say, the Niners lost, so pretty much their playoff hopes are dim or done unless Seattle goes on an epic losing streak, and so does the Rams, and they manage to win the division. But it ain't going to happen this year. They're most likely a 10-loss team. They'll be picking in the top 15. Hopefully get another game-changer player and come back healthy next season. We'll see what happens. Elsewhere in the NFL, you had, the Chiefs beat the Browns. Patrick Mahomes looked like he might have been hurt, but wasn't. NFL dark magic. There's a guy on Facebook, if you can check him out. Like, I forget what his name is. Dang it, I'll bring it to the next episode. But he created this meme about the Chiefs and dark magic, and it's just straight hilarious, or it's real. The Commanders got their 9th win, beating the Saints, who are 5-9 now. Let's see, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson with 5 TDs, putting up a Josh Allen-like performance. Go on, Lamar. Go on, Lamar. Unfortunately, the Cowboys beat the Panthers because everybody beats the Panthers.
Well, except for the Raiders.
Except for the Raiders, yeah. And almost the Chiefs. Almost the Chiefs. I want to say, Aaron Rodgers leads the 4-10 Jets to a victory over the Jaguars. Should have been easy win, but it wasn't. It came down to the last minute. I want to say, Texans hold out against the Dolphins to get to 9-5, and I believe they're pretty much have clinched the AFC South. When I left the game, the Colts were up 7-0, and they ended up losing 31-13. I don't know what happened in between, but looks like they got their ass beaten in the fourth quarter. So the Bills pull out another one, this time over the Lions. I genuinely think the Bills might be able to win a Super Bowl this year. They keep playing like this.
Watching that game, although I would like to know where the defense really was on, like, that was a high point game.
Yeah, there was no defense played in that game by either team. But it gives the Bills victories over the top 2 teams in the league right now, in the Chiefs and the Lions, and that's just wow. Definitely got to throw their name in there now. You got the Eagles, who went to 12-2, beating a legit contender in Steelers, who dropped to 10-4. Russ didn't have too good of a game, but Jalen Hurts had a good game, 290, 2 touchdowns. The Patriots, of course, lose again. This time to the Cardinals, who are now 7-7 and sitting only a couple of games behind the Rams, or only about a game behind the Rams and 2 games. Oh no, a game behind the Rams and the Seahawks. The Buccaneers destroyed the Chargers 40-17. Baker Mayfield 288 and 4 TDs. That kid is just wow. And tomorrow night we have Falcons Raiders, a game that pretty much means nothing to anybody. Do the Raiders have the number 1 pick right now at 2-11?
The last time I checked, they did.
Yeah, because they're about to. If they lose tomorrow, they'll be at 2-12. They'll be tied with the Giants. Wow. All right, Raiders lose. You could use the number 1 pick. Shedeur Sanders coming to the Raiders? Hell yeah. Go for it. I'm all for it. She's like, I really don't.
Don't wish that on that kid.
You don't think Antonio? Did they fire Antonio Pierce? I don't remember. I don't know.
They fired someone, but it wasn't him.
Oh. And let's see. And then last but not least, you got Bears and Vikings tomorrow. I think that matchup should be pretty good because even though the Bears kind of suck this year, they've had a tendency to play all of their NFC South opponents hard. So I could definitely see that being a lot closer of a game than what people think it's going to be. Yeah. But that's what we got coming up. Guys, for everybody that tapped in, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you. And we don't know what else to say. But be on the lookout for us next week. Mia, OMalley, in the mornings.
All right.
What's up?
Peace out. I gotta go.
Oh, okay. She's got to go. Yeah, fuck LeBron. All right, bye. All right, so then, yeah, I'll just wrap it up and say this. Once again, thank you to all of you. We'll be back next week to talk more NBA basketball and NFL football, as well as I'll be back for the Cheap Pop podcast. And tomorrow night, I'll be back to do, on Twitch TV. For those of you on Twitch, I'll be on doing some streaming of Madden and College Football 25. And yeah, check out the Instagram, Double KK Double. Check out the website, 2KK2network.com, and find out more about the Double KK Double Network. Peace. Oh, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Peace.